Hello, hello, good morning. Happy hump day. Wow, it is Wednesday, and this is my 5th episode. I made it, and I pressed the record button. Y'all, I'm doing good in this cold, brisk LA weather. First, I just have to thank you so very much for tuning in and tapping into the AskZena Radio Show. You know, it's all about inspiration, coaching, motivation, uplifting, getting you going so that you can get in the right direction to live the best life for yourself. I don't know what that looks like. I know what the best life for me looks like, but whatever that looks like for you, more power to you, and I will celebrate you all the way. I do have a little bit of a rant this morning, so we're expecting a little rain. We've had a little rain. Let me just tell you, I'm a native Angelino, and so when there are little drops that fall out of the sky and hit cars here in LA, we freak out. We don't know how to drive. I had people driving darn near on the sidewalk to get in front of me. I had a man tailgating me all the way down La Cienega, and he was driving darn near on the sidewalk, getting in the bike lane, and then had the nerve to be honking his horn at me because I'm driving where I'm supposed to be driving. And I'm like, this is crazy. Seriously. I gave up my road rage years ago, but I feel it coming back. Uh-oh. I haven't driven for a very long time. When I was in Arizona, I didn't drive at all. I didn't have a need. I work from home, so I never drove. So anyway, that's me in my rant this morning. Hello, I am Zena. This is the AskZena Radio Show. And if you don't know what I'm all about, let me just tell you, I am a life coach. I'm a career coach. I am a spiritual coach. I have been in human resources and consulting for over 2 decades. Yes, I am a seasoned veteran. I won't say I'm an old lady. I won't say I'm mature. I'm seasoned. You know, like good seasoning that you put on your food? That would be me. I do have a special guest, and you're probably hearing him laugh in the background, but he knows me well and knows my personality. Anywho, so I love helping and empowering people, and this isn't an individual that I believe that I helped and I empowered. He'll tell you a little bit about that, but so Ask Zena is all about asking questions. I started this because all the time on social media, people are like, what do you do here? How do I find a job? Where can I go? What can I do about my boss doing this? The company is downsizing, my relationship is in the tubes, can you help me? And so I actually decided to become a life coach, spiritual coach. And I've been coaching people for the last 4 years. And it has to be one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life because truly I love being of service. And I think that it shows. I think that my clients do experience that, but we will find out. So if you ever want to get connected to me, you can do so in all the social media platforms. You can go to Ask Zena on Instagram, on Facebook, on my website, AskZena.com. So that's AskZena and .com. So get connected to me. I'm also going to give you my email because for those of you who want to remain anonymous and you want me to answer your questions while we're live, you can email me, coach.askzena.com. I'm sorry. No. Sorry. Let me do that right. coach.askzena@gmail.com. All right. I'll say it again. Anyway, today's topic is really important because, so many people are in transition and the way of the world right now is just crazy. Fake news, real news, not news, challenging news, debating news, whatever, right? We all have these fear, worries, and doubts that are going through our mind. Is my job going to be steady? Are we going to go into a recession? Are we going into a war? Whatever that might be. My family's not doing well. I can't provide for Christmas. All that woe is me, that drum beating that we beat in our head. And I want to talk to you today about some simple techniques, but also give you a real life story, because I believe that people motivate people. And so I'm not a person that just pulls pie in the sky and just says, yes, I think that you should brush your teeth every day, and brushing your teeth every day is going to change your life. And here's this special toothpaste. No, I'm about practical application, and I'm about doing what feels good for you so that it can be implemented in your life so that changes can be made. So today is about overcoming your fears and taking the leap to success. And a lot of us don't know what success means, but it's baby steps. So I want to introduce my guest. I have known this young man for a very long time, indirectly, because I am close to his family, and I want to give a special shout out. Today is a day of an anniversary of a homecoming. His grandmother, who was instrumental and an advocate in diversity and the LA Unified School District and fighting for our minority people, passed away 5 years ago, Marguerite Lamont. And there's a school in LA named after her. Powerful, powerful woman, an amazing woman. And you had to have known both sides of her. One side was very, very professional, very, very stern, and very, very forward. And the other side just celebrated life, and was the life of the party and some of the parties that I went to. Just a moment, just to be in honor and appreciation for all that she did for Los Angeles schools districts. So I bring out my friend Clayton. Clayton, how are you today?
Hey, how are you?
I am good. Where are you in the country?
I am actually in New York right now. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction and introducing my grandmother as well. I really, really like to pay tribute to her and just thank her for everything that she's instilled in me. And thank you. So thank you for that. But I am in New York. It is about 32 degrees right now. And yes, I'm loving it.
Okay. But you are a native Angelino like myself, right?
Native Angelina. So when I see cold, the first hint of cold, I'm ready for a scarf, long jacket, and everything. And out here, it's a different ball game. The other day it was just 55 degrees, and I was with a short sleeve shirt on, just living life. Like, oh, this is great.
Short sleeve, 50 degrees?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it felt so great.
Okay. You've lost your mind. So let me just go back. Clayton's family and my family went to the same church many, many, many years. And we both have roots from New Orleans and Louisiana. So we are a Creole bunch. And as they say, they call us the crew, and it's KREWE. That's what they say in Louisiana.
Yes.
So anyway, we're part of the crew. Y'all part of the tribe. We're part of the crew. So exactly. So tell us a little bit about yourselves. Tell us how we got connected, as you are now, fast forward, an adult moving away from the family connection.
So we got connected recently. I was back home before I started on my journey, and we met. My Uncle Dale came out, and Zena and I had the chance to meet again, and I got to speak with Zena as an adult now and talk with her. And something moved me when I spoke with her. We were supposed to meet, and later on, we actually met and sat down, and she really connected me and helped me. So I would like to share about that, but I'm really glad that she was in my life, because God sends people to your life for a reason and for a season, and you have to figure out what those reasons are.
Yes.
And I truly believe that her spirit was sent to me for a legitimate reason, and I just want to share with you all how beautiful that reason and what that reason is.
Okay, okay. I remember that day. I remember you sitting across from me, and Dale and I were there, and there was just something about you that, because I remember seeing you as a little kid, right, going to church and your mom bringing you to church, but there was something about you, and you were telling me about your journey and the education and what you were pursuing, and I extended myself to you that moment, and I said, hey, reach out to me, and it took a couple of months, but I said, for the moment you walked into my door for our first sort of sit down session, it was like on. It was like, there was no difference in age difference, in maturity, in connection, in what had to be shared and what actually unfolded. So tell people a little bit about the journey.
So, my journey, like I said, I was raised in a God-driven family. All my mom, my brother, my grandmother really instilled church and belief and our faith in us as a young child. But as I got older, I started slowly losing my direction. But I kept my faith, but I was losing my direction and my vision became blurry. So at this point in my life, when Zena stepped into my life, I was headed in a direction, even though I was on the right path in my mind, so to say. I was in grad school, getting ready to finish up, but I was still deteriorating within inside. Mm-hmm. And my vision was still blurry based on the human form, mm-hmm. and I wasn't letting my spirit actually shine. So when Gina reached out to me, and like she said, we were supposed to meet, it took a couple months, and once we finally met, that opening of the first door really started to show my spirit, and my spirit started to shine. So I started to become overcoming different things in my life that were deterring me for what plan that God has for me.
So do you think that fear was a big part of you holding back, resisting, really taking the leap into who it is and what it is that is destined for you to live this life? I mean, do you think that it was fear? Do you think that it was fear of other people's judgment, fear of can I be successful, fear? What do you think that was?
I think it was fear of it all. It was fear of actually letting my light shine and shine bright, as I know and as God knows that He planted within me when I was born. Because he says in the Bible, He knew you before you were even born.
Exactly.
So God knew what I was capable of. God knew what I could have done, but I let my human form take over my spirit, and I wasn't really able to let my spirit shine. So with that created fear within myself.
Okay.
That created fear and doubt within myself, and that doubt deterred me from moving forward in life.
Okay. I often tell people that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and whether you're a believer or I don't even care what you call your higher source, your power, or whatever, that I'm not in judgment of, but we are connected to this higher source, this higher entity. I call it God, you call it God, some people might call it other things, but spirit, universe, the clouds, I don't care. I mean, I'm not disrespecting anything. I just not in judgment of that. So I just want to put that out there. But then again, we live in this human world, right? And we have human experiences, which are, paying the bills, paying rent, shame, body shame, shame of what we're doing, hidden feelings. Am I doing this right? We have parenting shame. We have neglect and abuse and all of this stuff. So all of that is the human stuff that we deal with. And at the core of who we are, we're a spiritual being. And so sometimes as we walk this walk, it's very difficult because there's layers upon layers upon layers for us to tap into that spirit. And it sounds like that you were able to get connected to that spiritual divine within you to set you on a course, to move into success. So when I talk about overcoming fears, what did you do? What did that look like for you?
Overcoming fear was letting my spirit shine, and this is where I said people come into your life for a reason, and if it wasn't for Zena in this moment of my life to And when I was getting ready to transition into another part of my life, and it wasn't for Zena, I don't know if I would have been able to reconnect with that spiritual aspect of my life. And that fear of letting my spirit take over was hindering me. And because of Zena, because of you, and I thank you so much. Thank you so much. You showed me that it's okay to trust, and it's okay to believe, and it's okay to, what you focus on, go for it. Don't let anything stop you, because the only thing that can stop you and the only person that can stop you is you.
Yeah.
So once you get past those fears of yourself and those fears of your self-doubt, you are freely to move upon this world and this land, connecting with the universe, connecting with the Spirit of God, connecting with your spirit. And I think letting my spirit shine is what got me out of fear.
Yeah. And can I just, I want to share. So a lot of people, when you say, you're giving me so much credit, but really, I just reminded you of who you were. I mean, I really want to just say that. And I think that you would agree with me. I didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hypnotize you. I didn't,
No.
I didn't drop you in water. I didn't,
No.
we didn't drop to our knees. We cried. We definitely cried, but we didn't drop to our knees. But the crying was a cleansing. So I just want to, he's talking about, Clayton is really talking about some of the coaching things that I do. And my coaching is merely to remind you of who you are. So I want to share one of the unique things that we did. We actually did some earthing. And if you guys don't know what earthing is, you guys got to look it up. He's probably not doing any earthing in New York.
I try to get, step my foot in some type of grass.
Yeah.
Not here.
So I just needed him to get connected. And so sometimes in my coaching practice, what I find is I just need to help people remove some of those layers. And so one of the techniques that we used is we went to a beautiful park that has a waterfall in it. And we just took our shoes off and we just sat there, or actually stood there, and just allowed the sun just to bathe us, and just closed our eyes, and it was just so meditative. But it was also a rejuvenation of who we are, because you need to get connected to something. And so being human and being spiritual, you're disconnected. It's like left brain, right brain, and your head is in the middle. And so what are you doing here? And how are you getting connected? And a lot of people don't realize that to get connected, it's really, really very simple. So in my coaching practice, and I hope that I have given you some tools that you will be able to use for your lifetime, but it really was just about reminding you of who you are, and that you are powerful, you are courageous, and you have this plan, this destiny, this design, this life that is supposed to manifest, because you are supposed to do things here on this planet. And I hope that was conveyed in our sessions that we had.
Very much so, especially that moment where we looked out at the water. We went to it was like a top of kind of like a mountain, so to say. It was like at the end we looked out at the water,
yeah,
and you can just see clearly. And at that moment, that's when I knew that my vision was clear.
Wow.
And that I knew what I needed to do in order to step into and let my spirit actually shine. Mm-hmm. And that right there was a moment of releasing fear, because within fear I released that self-doubt, the words in the back of my head that say, you can't do this, or you can't do that, because
amazing.
I can do that.
Yes.
And I can't do this. So that moment right there, the spirit was shining, and the light is still guiding me.
And how easy that was, right? How easy that was just to go to that mountain, to see that water, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, I had it within me all the time.
Hello. Exactly.
I had it within me all the time, right? So
And I
that's
love that.
yes. And so you can use that in anything. I mean, New York, go to Central Park, find a place, find a moment. One of the things that I think is very important when people are in fear, and I have been in fear many times. I'm a single parent, raised my children on my own, high school dropout, been homeless. I'm very transparent about my life and have had struggles, but my struggles have come because of my fear. So I'm living an abundant life right now. Doesn't mean I'm a millionaire, but I'm living an abundant life because I've moved from those fears. Now, doesn't mean the fears don't come at you every day because you think you've mastered this one situation. Fears will come at you every single day, and they're actually there to grow you. But if you know how to use the tools, then whatever tools, whatever techniques, then you can navigate through them. I was telling someone yesterday, I was like, this feels like a bad pot of gumbo, like all of these different seasonings and meats and seafood and all this. And if any of you guys know anything about gumbo, you can spend $200, $300, $400 on a good pot of gumbo, cooking that all day, right? And you're like, oh, this is going to be so good. This is going to be so good. And then someone tastes it and was like, this is spoiled. Gumbo will spoil in an instant because of some unusual entity that gets in there, a dirty spoon. Someone tastes the spoon and then puts it back in the pot. I'm telling you, this is gumbo. If the temperature changes, it's a very delicate soup. It's very delicate, but it actually was the poor man's soup. Back in the day, I'll just give you a little history, a little Creole history. So back in the day, the slaves would get pieces of what was left over from people's meals, and that's how they came up with gumbo. They chopped up the seasoning, which are vegetables, the bell pepper, the onions, and so forth, and then they put and made the gravy, which is the roux. So when you hear people say roux, that's the gravy, to thickening agent. And so then they had little pieces, a piece of pork, a piece of beef, a piece of that, and they simmered that all day long till it cooked down to this nice thick consistency. But here's the thing, any element can spoil a pot of gumbo. And so if you think about yourself as like you're a piece of this, a piece of that because of the experiences of life and all of this stuff, and then one thing happens, a flat tire, you get fired, your boyfriend leaves you, he acts crazy, she acts crazy, they act crazy, the kids are acting crazy, and it spoils that gumbo, right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to make another pot of gumbo, or are you going to sit there and wallow in that spoiled gumbo? No one in their right mind is going to eat spoiled gumbo. Right?
You're gonna sit there and make that new pot.
Exactly. And that's just what it is. We can take these steps to just move into a better life. So that's a great segue. So when I talk about taking a leap to success, tell me about what your leap looked like and what you're doing now and how you feel about that. Because you've left the West Coast and you're all the way on the East Coast with no family, right?
No family, nobody at all.
Wow.
Yeah. So just to go back to earthing, I actually, when I moved out here, I was told that I was going to be staying with a family friend, but then that fell through. And then it seemed that all my plans had just started to fall through after that. So when I got out here, I was going through a bit of a struggle within myself, and if this was the right journey, if this was the right thing for me to do. So to go back to earthing, I sat in Central Park one day throughout work. I sat in Central Park, and I sat there and let the sun absorb, and I prayed, and I just looked, and I said, this is time to let my spirit shine. Everything I'm doing for a reason. So taking a leap on success is taking and trusting the plan that God has for you, your plan for your higher source that they have for you, and that He will provide through good, the bad, and the beautiful. When you seek, and you seek the Lord, and you will be promised all that has been promised. And I seek faith, and that was me taking a leap on success and moving out here to New York, like I said, with no family, and thinking that I had a plan, but that was my plan. That wasn't the plan that was laid out for me. So I actually started at a company, ended up not being there anymore. I started another company, and I'm loving the company that I'm at
Wow.
right now. I'm loving. I didn't have a place to live for about 2 months. I was moving
Wow.
around from the Bronx to the Brooklyn, east side of Brooklyn, to being in Manhattan on 34th Street and 5th on Herald Square, all the
So
way to now living in Jersey City.
because I want to emphasize a couple of things because,
Hmm.
when people hit obstacles and they hit those walls, most of them just freeze, right? Most of them
Right,
just
right.
freeze or they wither away, they become depressed, they go to some sort of substance, whether it's a numbing agent. I don't care if it's television, I don't care if it's tacos. I don't care if it's sex, I don't care if it's whatever. They go to a numbing agent because they just can't cope. So what you're telling me is you left your family, the life that you knew, everyone,
Hmm.
everything here in California, got there and, went on this journey because you were being faithful, thinking this is where my career is taking me. This is where I need to go. And then not only did you get there, because everything, when we talked about it, you had the job, you had the place, you had boom, 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 all of this. You got
Right,
there and then everything fell apart.
correct. At that moment,
Wow.
everything just fell. Um, like I said, I came here. I was supposed to stay with a family friend. So I came here with little to no money, um, moving around from Airbnb to this, Airbnb to that, staying with a friend here, going back and forth to these different places. But I knew that there was a reason that I was going through this. So the fact that my vision was clear, my mind was clear, I got to sit there and go through what I was going through and realize that there is a greater outcome to what is going on. There's no reason to sit in my sorrow and not trip over spoiled milk. And like you
Wow.
said, the gumbo pot. Instead of sitting there in the gumbo pot and, ooh, this is nasty, I remade the gumbo and I kept moving on. I got the ingredients to my life and I kept on adding them into it. I
Wow.
dealt with it, moved forward through it, and that's really what got me through it, trusting and believing in that he had a plan for me, despite what I was going through. I trusted him in the good, the bad, and the beautiful.
Wow.
And it may not be all together right now, but it's better than what it was when I first got
Amazing.
here. And like I said, now I'm in another company, loving that company. And I have an apartment in Jersey City by myself, loving that apartment.
Wow.
And I'm really grateful and thankful for this path that he is allowing me to go about, and the fact that I know I'm surrounded and I know I'm covered every day.
Sure.
So I don't let those small things deter me, or those small things affect me in my day.
Yeah.
So that
So
really helped me.
you were really clear on your vision. So I think that being really clear on your vision was the thing that kept
Mhm.
you anchored and steadfast. So as you had homelessness in another, way across the world in another, another state, another coast, just away from family, and then the job. Wow. Wow. So dang. Dang. I
Yeah,
didn't know you
it
were
was. It
going
was.
through all of that. You could have texted me,
Oh
but
yeah,
that's a
I,
leap.
I kept it to myself because I I knew that this is something that I had to deal with to move on to the next level. This was more tools added in my kit so I can
Yes.
move on to the next level. Because when I experience this again in another form, I will know how to go about it without having to stop in my tracks and think about, oh, is this the right thing for me? As I
Yes.
had my self doubt when I moved here. So that's why when I went back to saying Earthing, I sat in Central Park, and that day I just sat there all literally for about 3 hours. The sun
Wow.
absorbed me. I put my feet down. I laid there. I sat there, and I just was so thankful
Hmm.
that I was here. My vision, like I said, my vision was very clear. I know what I have to do, and I know what I'm going to continue doing. And when I let my mind be clear, so that I can see
Yes.
that my vision is clear and I'm going for it, nothing can stop me.
All right now. Do you mind sharing with people what you went to school for?
So I got my master's. I got my undergrad, my BA is in psychology, and my master's in behavioral psychology. Now I work with individuals with autism, mental illnesses, psychiatric disorders, and I do behavior treatment plans, implementations to decrease negative outcomes in a person's behavior.
Wow.
So that's why I also work with individuals, young adolescents with autism, and I work with autism population, which is really so touching and dear to my heart, and I just love what I do. And I love knowing that I'm making a difference in someone's life, whether it's a smile or whether it's just sitting down talking with them, because people with disabilities just want to be heard and just want to be treated as everyone else is treated, as a typical developing individual. And that what brings my heart more, because we can say, despite your disability, I have disabilities. No one knows that, but I was diagnosed with dyslexia. I didn't learn my multiplication until I was in 8th grade.
Wow.
I had learned disabilities that I had to overcome. And my family sat there and they worked with me and they talked to me. They didn't treat me any differently because of my disability or because of why I couldn't do certain things. So I love that I am able to share that with other people on a daily basis, which I do. And I'm now currently the behavior intervention specialist for a company in New York.
Congratulations. You know, I wanted people to know that, because a lot of times people see people and they're like, oh, they got it all together. They're okay. You know, they've got their masters. They're in $100,000 job. They're living the life. They're doing this, you know, oh, they're okay. Or they're, you know, a lot of times, so our mind goes to the people that are not okay are those homeless people. No one, let me just tell you, I don't care who, if it's Oprah, if it's anyone, everyone is going through something. And if you're not going through something, you're in something. Or you are about to get into something, because that's just part of the human experience. So a lot of people, and it's really important for me to hear your background and people to hear, because people start to idolize people. You know, the people idolize the Kardashians. Oh, if I had this money, or y'all don't know what them people are going through. You think because they got money, because Kylie was, you know, made a billionaire by the time she's 20, you don't know what they're going through. You can see the craziness already that happens in their life. But I'm saying this to say, never compare yourself to anyone. Never idolize anyone else's life, and never take for granted someone's life. You're talking about autistic people. You're talking about I'm a high school dropout. You have a master's. We're talking about celebrities. Everybody at every time is going through something. And someone just needs to know that, you know, they got through. They got through, because when we're in the midst of our crisis or whatever, we think that there is no way out. We think that there is no way to look at tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to look like today, and today doesn't look good. But you know what? One step at a time. And so I kind of go back to the coaching, because my coaching is really about baby steps, don't you think? It's really about baby steps and putting simple things into practice that will shift your life.
Very true. And that's literally everything that got me through, knowing that this may happen today, but I know that joy comes in the morning. So I'm not going to sit back and cry and weep over this all night. I'm going to renew my day the next morning, and I'm going to move on about my life, and I'm going to keep going towards what my vision is.
Well, you know, I'm always a text away. So I wanted to ask, I know that you have to go back to work, but I wanted to ask if you could give 3 pieces of advice for someone who is in fear right now and they can't see what success looks like. And so let me just stop. Success does not mean that you've achieved something. Success could just mean, honey, you woke up this morning and you have breath. So don't think that, oh, I have to be achieving, I have to be doing something. You know, success is just navigating life and getting through the day. And that sounds like that's bare bones, but for some people that's bare bones. And I'm telling you, I live a very abundant life, and sometimes it just doesn't feel good for me to wake up in the morning and get out of my bed. And if you looked at me and you saw me, you saw where I lived, you would never have that would never come to your mind. So I'm telling you this, that success could be so small, but it's huge in terms of the steps that you take and how you react to life. So that's me on my rant, but I go back. Give us 3 pieces of advice or 3 pieces of encouragement that you could give someone right now, a millennial who is going through something, someone who's older who's going through something, and they are just trying to deal with the fear.
So also let's go back. I never said my age, or I never said, so I am in the millennial generation. I recently just turned 25. My birthday was November 27th. I just turned 25. And 3 pieces of advice, 3 words that I have actually are to seek, believe, and achieve. When you seek and ask God and your angels to help you, trust and believe He will come through. Don't rush or be in panic because you see your friends out there doing all this and doing that. He will send you a sign, but if your vision and your mind is not clear, you won't be able to see the signs that are placed in front of you within the universe. You never know where your next sign is coming from or who is coming to bring you that sign. Mm-hmm. Once you start to see the signs clearly, you will achieve all things through Christ who strengthens us. And that's the 3 words that I go about. I seek, I believe, and I achieve. I know that things are going to work out, and I know that things are going to come my way, but I have to be patient and not always have to be at a rush for things in life. And I know this millennial generation, a lot of us are looking at Instagram, looking at, like you said, celebrities, looking to see where other people are, but we're not looking to see where we are. Yes. And where we are is the right place in our life. Yes. Where they were was the right place in their life.
Exactly.
But that's not our life. So we have to be in our right place at our right time so we can see the signs so we can move forward.
Yes.
And seek and achieve the goals that are there for us.
I love it, and I love you. I just wanted to drop this other nugget. If ever you're in fear, worry, and doubt, you can shift your energy just by standing up and taking a walk. Even if it's just 3 steps, you're breaking up that energy. You're breaking up that thought pattern. So we have so many tools, and we'll talk about that in the Ask Zena show. But I'm so proud of you. Thank you so very much. I'm so honored and so grateful that you allowed me to spend time with you this past summer. And you've changed my life. You have shifted some things in my life. And so thank you so very much. Thank you for your time. We will hear from Clayton again because I want to know about this journey in New York. I'm going to come there. I'm going to come visit you. I've met some people from New York one recently, and I need to get out there. So, yes, I'm so very thankful. We are going to close this show with just this one thing, that you are who you are, and you have the power and the strength within you. Because if you can open up your eyes and you can take a breath, you can do all things. Today doesn't have to look like yesterday, but today doesn't even have to look like tomorrow. And tomorrow doesn't have to look like today. At any second, at any moment of the day, you can shift and change your life. And just take baby steps. If you take 1 step a day in the direction in which you want to go into, a couple of months will just change and transform your life. I mean, Clayton, you made this transition we just met a couple of times over the summertime, and now look at you.
And those couple of times really shined, and I am shining so bright, and I just want everyone's life to shine as bright as mine and have the joy in life that I have.
Yes.
And I'm just so thankful.
All right. Well, we're going to close out the Ask Zena show. Remember to tune in to the Good News radio station. We have tons of podcasts. We have tons of shows. Listen to some of the other shows. Get live, get in tune, get encouraged. Listen to we have ladies' nights. We have different shows that are going on. Listen to it. If you have any questions for me, you can certainly reach me at coach.askzena@gmail.com. Reach me out on all the social media platforms. platforms. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Clayton. I have really
Thank
loved
you.
this time that we have spent together, and thank you for taking me on your journey. We are going to close out and listen to Rocky and be
Thank you.
encouraged.
Also, I want to say and if anybody wants to speak with me and talk with me and hear more of my story, I'm open. You can give them my number, my email, whatever.
Give it, shout it out. I mean, don't give your number, but you give your social media platform.
My email, my social media, my Instagram is Mr. MR letter J random RANDOM. You can find me on there. You can email me Clayton CLAYTON .Isaiah ISAIAH 27@gmail.com. Give me a call. I'm here.
Reach out to me so I can give you Clayton's information. You're going to have to get an easier email address. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon, everyone. I am out. Have a great hump day.
Thank you.